everybody, this is Sean Speaks. Seeking equality as a Black person in America is a losing battle. Let me explain what I mean. Have you ever noticed that despite the progress that has been made, the fight for equality still feels futile? Instead of constantly striving for equality from others, we need to shift our focus inward and work on improving ourselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and economically. Seeking equality from others only traps us in a comparison game and limits our potential. True equality may only be achievable within ourselves and can be expressed outwardly from that place of inward balance. It's important to remember that the laws and protocols that make up this system we live in are just human-made ideas, often created by one group to dominate or control others. We must recognize our own agency and the power of our own ideas. Have you ever heard of the social credit system? The social credit system is a concept that has been around for a long time and has been implemented in different forms and various degrees in different countries. The modern version of the social credit system, as it is understood today, can be traced back to China's social credit system, which was proposed by the Chinese government sometime in 2009. The system began piloting in 2014 and is now, I believe, mandatory in China. It uses big data and artificial intelligence to monitor and evaluate the behavior of individuals and businesses, assigning them a social credit score based on their actions. This score reflects trustworthiness, reliability, and behavior and can be used to determine access to privileges or benefits within the country. In China, a low score could result in the loss of certain rights, maybe a loss of your right to fly, maybe your loss of a right to get married or buy a train ticket, or even an ability to use your money. The social credit system is a powerful tool of control, combining programmable money and identity with a reward punishment system. It is important to remember the truth of the old adage that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The social credit system is just one example of how various technologies or human ideas can be used to control, reward, and punish human behavior. The idea of equality may also play a role in the perpetuation of the social credit system in more and more countries. In America, Black people have been taught through language, religious teachings, education, and media to believe that our differences make us inferior and unequal to other humans within the social, political, religious, and economic systems we live in. This has led to laws such as slavery, Jim Crow, and discriminatory laws that have perpetuated the idea that our differences are hindrances and detriments to our existence within these systems. From birth, we have been taught to feel less than human and to believe that we are inferior to others. This has caused a mental connection to be formed between our minds and the desire for equality with others, preventing us from breaking free from the mindset and becoming independent and self-sufficient. As a result, we have been unable to ask the right questions and take control of our own lives. Our ancestors are calling on us to remember who we truly are and to reclaim our mental strength and will to live fully in this land. This requires us to quiet the lies and half-truths that have been imposed upon us by the American system and to listen to the cries of our own existence. It is important to recognize that we are an unequal people, but that is okay. Other people were not created with our equality in mind, and we were not created with their equality in mind. We were all created to live, express our ideas, and create something. Collaboration is key, but it must be based on mutual willingness, not on bully tactics like those used in America in the past. As humans, we are technologies, and our words and ideas are technologies too. The idea of inequality is a technological idea used to divide and conquer. Seeking equality is also a technological idea used to control and tame wild minds. It is important to recognize that our inherent differences are a result of natural law and can be developed and changed through personal growth and development. Like an elephant that has been tethered to a fence with a string since birth, Black people have been tethered to the idea comparing our existence to being white in America. Like the elephant, we have the strength and power to break free from the cord, but our mental conditioning is holding us back. We, like the elephant, have become so comfortable and dependent on the control of others that we lack the self-awareness and belief in our own sovereignty. We seek validation from others instead of giving it to ourselves. Our ancestors are pleading with us to remember who we are and to reclaim our power of being. If we do not, we risk being subjected to the next technological advancement in the American system, which could be very much like the social credit system in China. We could end up having the American social credit system, which could strip us of our privileges and reinforce harmful ideas about ourselves. It is time for us to rise up and take control of our own lives and destinies. There are many differences among people, including height, weight, hair types, skin tones, and interests. It is important to take charge of your own growth and development and to challenge and disrupt your own thinking and behaviors. If you don't, others will dictate your growth. America and other countries need you to believe that your importance is dependent on their existence and to forget that government is just a group of humans controlling you in the name of maintaining order and prosperity. And let me say something, government can be good. It is important to always consider whether the government's actions are benefiting or harming you. Nations are just systems that rise and fall, but it is the people who create the systems that hold real strength. And those people include you and me. As Black people in America awaken to our true identities, it is uncertain how the current ecosystem will adjust and how the powers that be will respond to a new energy of power flowing in the minds and hearts of Black people in this country. The Federal Reserve is already testing a central bank digital coin, which could be used to enforce a social credit system just like in China. With the advancement of artificial intelligence, a few people will have the power to control your money, livelihood, and freedom with the stroke of a key. The design of this country has been for Black people to always feel an inner and outer sense of inequality. And even though we know that it's changing through the changing laws, for some reason, we still hold on to a sense or a feeling of inequality. And this has had a ripple effect on people of melanin skin throughout the world. It is no longer productive to focus on seeking equality, in my opinion. Ideas of equality and inequality are simply human constructions that are used to create laws and rules that can harm or benefit certain groups. It is time for us to shift our focus away from seeking equality from others and towards dominating our own minds. We must learn to control our own thinking, our own believing, and our actions in collaboration with others, not in subjugation. When I say dominate, I am not meaning dominating others through manipulation and marginalized politics. I am only referring to taking control of your own mind and empowering yourself with the knowledge of what you can do, have, and be. Once you understand that you have the power to dominate your own mind, you can begin to recognize the ways in which others try to dominate you and choose to embrace or reject those influences based on whether they are usable in the construction of your vision for your life. It is more empowering to believe in the possibility of unlimited potential than to fight for the elusive concept of equality with others. Our use of our minds will always make us different from one another, but that doesn't have to be a good or a bad thing. It just is. As my friend Terrence Drew likes to say, in the marketplace of ideas, a search for equality is fool's gold. Real gold lives in the wealth of your mind. While America has become a powerful nation, Black people have remained trapped in a maze of mental limitations, seeking external equality. We have allowed this to happen because we have not focused on dominating our own minds. We have absorbed and accepted the teaching of others as if they are absolute and unchanging truths, without considering our own knowledge, our own experiences, and our own questions. In order to live your best life, you must take control of your mind and not make your primary goal to achieve equality with others. We often do things that give others control over us without realizing it, and we must pay attention to our actions and their consequences. We help others build wealth and power that is sometimes used against us, and yet we continue to complain about the control without changing our own actions. This is not a result of inequality, but rather our own ignorance and unwillingness to challenge and disrupt our own thinking and behaviors. America is not an equal opportunity employer, despite the promises of the Constitution. It was never meant to be, and it would never be, because the humans behind the system are not equal, even if they look like you and me. This is true for people of all races. The government system is a form of artificial intelligence created by humans, and it can sometimes become more powerful than the people who created it. And sometimes that is by design. That is why it is important to continuously train the individual mind. The only kind of equality that can truly exist is bargained equality, where there is recognizable power on both sides of the negotiating table. We must participate in these negotiations or live by the terms of the agreement. While it may seem like a noble pursuit, the truth is that complete equality is unattainable in a world that is inherently unequal. Here are 5 reasons why seeking equality can be detrimental, in my opinion. Our desire for equality makes us fragile within the system. It makes us mentally scared of change. Building a mind of equanimity will help us become more anti-fragile. Equanimity is mental calmness that can receive the good with the bad because both are actually usable in vision creation. Number 2, equality is a word that is psychologically deceptive. It presupposes a bottom-up mentality, which can lead to feelings of defeat before even attempting to do something different. In fact, you may not even try something different and continue to use the same solutions for new problems. This is why the adult elephant stays tied to a cord it can easily break. Its mind is still a baby. It can see the vast land in front of it, but doesn't have the will to explore it, to use its own strength. Number 3, complete equality can't exist in a life that isn't equal. As Black people, we keep seeking something outwardly that doesn't exist. And if we become really honest with ourselves, we don't want it to exist. If we don't change our focus, we will continue to perpetuate feelings of deficiency when we really don't have to feel this way anymore. Change your focus from needing equality outwardly to an inward focus of expressing your own greatness. Number 4. America or any other country can't give us equality. Equality is an inner feeling that you have to give to yourself and to life itself. A system can't really give equality. It can only redistribute inequality to benefit the community. And nothing is wrong with that, but you need to recognize that that's what it is. Number 5, seeking equality keeps you fatigued. Many people, especially Black people, are mentally and emotionally, and some of us are even spiritually fatigued. We keep asking for something that life itself doesn't even give. As Black people in America, we have been in a psychological battle for the freedom of our minds. We have been conditioned to seek equality with others, partly because we wanted to have what they had. And so we sought integration without realizing that we already had everything we needed to build greatness within ourselves and in this world. However, even though integration happened, I don't believe we were ready for it, mentally, emotionally, or economically, or even spiritually. But regardless of the past, we are here today, and it's important to recognize where the battle lies today. And I think that the battle mostly lies in our minds. One way to start winning this battle in our mind It's by cultivating an inner sense of equanimity, our mental calmness and evenness that allows us to handle the good with the bad and use both to improve ourselves. This is exemplified by Muggsy Bogues, a basketball player who, despite being significantly shorter than the average height of players in the NBA, played his heart out on his own level and used his height difference as a way to improve his jump shot, defense, and offensive skills. This is having an anti-fragile mind. He dominated his own mind, which allowed him to dominate on the court despite his size. In conclusion, it is time for us to shift our focus from seeking outer equality with others to dominating who we are and our greatest potential within our own minds. By building up equanimity and dominating our own thinking, we can start dominating ourselves and how we show up in this world, no matter the giants around us. This is Sean Speaks, and remember, brain health is mental wealth.